Hello and welcome back to Beauty for Old Broads. Today we're going to talk about foundation. As the foundation helps support the house, so does the foundation on your skin help support your makeup. So you need a good foundation to really even out your skin's imperfections. Not everybody's got perfect skin. There's a few people that are blessed like that. God bless them, carry on. But if you do have blotchiness and redness like I do, a little foundation is a good thing. So first of all, do me a favor, never buy a foundation without trying it on first. In other words, don't go to the drugstore to buy it. I know it's hard right now because all the department stores are closed and all the cosmetic stores are closed, but once they reopen, you will be armed and ready with the right information. Make sure and try it on first. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to talk about skin types. So we have 3 different skin types. There's dry, there's combination, and there's oily. If you're dry, you know it. Your skin feels like it's a size too small. You have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles. If your skin is combination, you may get a little oily through the T-zone, but the rest of it's pretty good and you really don't have too many problems. If your skin is oily, you know it. Within an hour of washing your face, you got that oily slick on your nose and chin. So a dry skin obviously will do better with a moisturizing makeup with a radiant or glowy finish, because glow helps to blur imperfections on the skin. So if you have a lot of dryness and fine lines, you don't want a matte finish because that's going to show them up more. A normal combination skin will go better with a natural finish. Not too much shine, but not completely matte either. And an oily skin will look best with a matte finish. Okay? So I'm going to do a little primer first, because primer helps. Oops, sorry, I'm holding it the wrong way. There you go. This is our Chantecaille mattifying anti-pollution cream. It's a great primer. Primer helps to fill in pores and fine lines, so your foundation goes on flawlessly, sits on the surface, doesn't sink into your skin, and it'll stay on all day. So having done that, and we have determined next is what your undertone to your skin is. So there's different undertones. There's pink or cool undertones. There's warm or yellow undertones, and there's neutral, neither too much of the other. Now, clearly, I'm a pink undertone, as you can see it. Most people of Northern European descent are going to be pink, okay? And another way to look, too, look at the inside of your wrist. What do your veins look like? Mine are blue. That means I'm more of a pink undertone. On a warm undertone person, those veins will read more green. If you're neutral, either or, it doesn't really matter. So now that you've determined if you're a cool or pink, warm or yellow, or a neutral undertone, it's going to make it a lot easier to go to that cosmetic counter and pick out the right foundation. So kind of look at your color level next. Are you super fair? I'm not that porcelain skin anymore. Are you kind of light to fair? I'm kind of like neutral, kind of in the middle. So I'm like usually around an intensity 3. And then you go on to your darker undertones, all the way up to your darkest African American or whatever skins, okay? So I'm going to start with 3 different colors in my intensity. So I figured out that mine's an intensity 3. So I'm going to pick out 3 colors. One is going to be more warm. This one. Do you see how yellow that looks on my skin? That is clearly not the right color for me. So the next one I'm going to do is more of a neutral undertone. That's not bad, but I can still kind of see it. The best foundation is the one you can't see on your skin. The best foundation for you, the one that blends right in. You see that? Look at that. I can barely see it on my skin. So that's a really good choice. A lot of times in the store, they'll pick out your foundation right here. Keep in mind, if you're a much darker complexion, ethnic or African American, pick your foundation here, because sometimes you'll have a darker halo and you don't want to match that part. You want to match this part here. Okay, so from this, we have clearly figured out that, oh, look, this is the best one for me. That's the one with cool undertones. So we're going to wipe the other 2 off, and we're going to put that all over my skin. Now, I really like to use a foundation brush. This is a brush specifically made for foundation. It is a synthetic bristle brush because it won't hold bacteria. It won't, you can use it for wet products. A natural bristle brush does not work for a wet product. Now, the reason why I like a foundation brush is you get the best payout for your money because you get all the color on your skin. It doesn't get soaked into the sponge. If you're using a sponge, half of your color goes into your sponge. You're wasting a lot of money. Even those beauty blenders, not a fan. I really like just covering up those areas that need it. You don't need it everywhere. I'm not going to put it all the way to the jawline because I really don't need it. I'm going to put it where it is needed. And you see how that's kind of toning down the redness in my skin, giving me a nice even application. And so it looks more natural that way. There are several different types of foundation. For the lightest coverage, go to a tinted moisturizer. If you just want a hint, you know, just to even out your skin tone, go to a tinted moisturizer. If you want a little bit more coverage than that, go to a liquid or a cream powder or cream makeup, or even the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel makeup. I don't really recommend full coverage for everyday use, especially if you're if you're a little bit more mature, because full coverage can look like a mask. And don't use a powder foundation if you're older. Generally, that tends to show up a line and fine wrinkle on your face. As far as setting your makeup with a powder, if your skin is dry, you may not want to. And the reason why you want to use a powder in the first place, it does kind of help it stay on better. It just does kind of set it. So if you're over 50, try to use a powder that is not matte. Right now, I'm loving this Matte Blur foundation, this Matte Blur powder. It was from our holiday color collection. It's not a dry, flat look. It actually has a pearlescence to it. I'm using my big artist powder brush to put it on with. And it just gives you a really nice, gives you a little bit of a glow. It doesn't look really dry. The more matte you use on your skin, the more it shows up every little fine line and wrinkle. So for those of us over 50, that's not the best idea. Okay, so we've got everything all set. Just a little bit of concealer under the eyes. Concealer should be a half shade lighter than your foundation. And I really like the Chantecaille Camouflage because not only does it cover well, but it also highlights and brightens. So if you have any darkness around the eyes, it's going to make it look less noticeable. Okay, so now we have a nice basis for blush, bronzer, and eyeshadows. So I hope you learned something, and if you have any questions, feel free to fire off a message and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.